Leo loved to fish. It was more than just a hobby, you know? It was his greatest passion. Every Saturday morning he would wake up before the sun, when the sky was still dark and full of stars. He would grab his favorite fishing rod, the one that was a gift from his grandpa. That rod just felt perfect in his hands, and he knew every little scratch on it. Leo would quietly sneak out of his house, trying not to wake his family. The quiet morning air felt cool on his face, and honestly, he loved the feeling of a new day starting, a day just for him and the fish. His special place was Willow Creek Lake, just a short bike ride from his house. The lake was big and calm in the early morning, with mist rising from the water like a soft white blanket. Leo knew all the best spots. He knew where the lily pads grew thick, and he knew the shady spots under the old willow trees. The fish liked to hide there when the sun got hot. He spent so many hours at that lake, learning the sounds of the water and the way the wind moved across the surface. It was, well, his own little world. Leo didn't just cast his line and wait. He practiced, trying to cast his lure into a small bucket from far away, doing it over and over. He wanted his cast to be perfect, soft enough not to scare the fish. He studied different kinds of lures, and had a whole box full of them, some shiny and looking like small fish, others colorful with feathers. He knew which lure to use for sunny days and which one worked best on cloudy days. His friends just wanted to catch anything, but Leo wanted to understand everything about fishing. His grandpa had taught him to be patient. "Fishing is a waiting game, Leo," he would always say. "The fish will tell you when they are ready." So Leo learned to wait. He would sit on the dock for hours, watching dragonflies buzz over the water and listening to frogs croaking in the reeds. He never got bored. He felt peaceful by the lake. It was where he could think and dream. He dreamed of catching a fish so big it would be a legend, a story people at Willow Creek Lake would tell for years and years. One sunny Saturday in July, something was different. The annual Willow Creek Lake Fishing Contest was here, and the air was just filled with excitement. Cars and trucks were parked all along the road, and people were everywhere, setting up chairs and coolers along the shore. Boats were out on the water, and kids and grown-ups were all getting their fishing gear ready. Leo saw his friends, Sam and Jake, and they waved at him. "Are you ready to win, Leo?" Sam shouted. Leo just smiled. He was a little nervous, but honestly, he was also very excited. He had been waiting for this day all year. Leo found his favorite spot near the old willow tree. His friends decided to fish from a small boat. They liked being in the middle of the lake. But Leo trusted his spot. He knew a big bass lived somewhere in the deep water near the tree's roots. He had seen it once, just a dark shadow moving slowly, but he knew it was huge. He opened his tackle box carefully and looked at all his lures. He needed something special for today, something that would get the big one's attention. He finally picked a lure his grandpa had given him, a deep-diving crankbait that looked like a little sunfish. The contest horn blew loudly, echoing across the lake. Everyone cast their lines into the water. Leo took a deep breath, swung his rod back, and cast his line. The lure sailed through the air and landed with a soft plop, right where he wanted it to. It was a perfect cast. Now the waiting began. He slowly reeled the line in, making the lure dive deep into the water and wiggle like a real fish. He was patient. He knew the big fish wouldn't be easy to trick, and he had to make it look real. An hour passed, then another. Leo saw other people catching fish, kids pulling in small bluegill and perch. Sam and Jake caught a decent-sized bass from their boat and held it up for Leo to see. Leo gave them a thumbs up. He didn't feel discouraged. He was focused on his goal, hunting for the legend of the lake. He knew it would take time. He reeled in his line and cast it out again, and again. The sun climbed higher in the sky and it was getting hot, but Leo didn't mind. He was in his element, waiting for the one big bite. Just as Leo was about to take a break for a sandwich, it happened. He felt a small tap on his line. It was a tiny little bump, so small someone else might have missed it. But Leo knew. He had felt it before. He held his breath and waited. Then, the tap turned into a giant pull. The pull was so strong it almost ripped the rod from his hands. His fishing rod bent into a big curve, and the line started screaming off the reel. "Whoa!" Leo yelled. This was it. This was the big one. He gripped the rod with both hands. The fish was incredibly powerful, pulling and pulling, diving deep into the dark water. Leo's arms started to ache, and his knuckles were white from gripping the rod so tightly. He had to be smart. If he pulled too hard, the line would snap. If he let the line get too loose, the fish would shake the hook free. He let the fish run when it wanted to run and reeled in line whenever the fish got tired. It was a dance, a battle between him and the giant fish. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest. This was the biggest fish he had ever hooked. The fight felt like it lasted forever. The fish pulled him along the edge of the dock, and Leo had to move carefully. He didn't want to trip. He kept the tip of his rod up high, just like his grandpa taught him. Other people started to notice. A small crowd gathered behind him, all watching the fight. "You got a big one, kid!" someone shouted. "Don't lose it!" another person yelled. Leo didn't hear them. He was completely focused on the fish. He could feel it starting to get tired. The powerful pulls were getting shorter. Slowly, carefully, Leo started to win the battle. He reeled in the line, inch by inch. He could see a dark shape moving in the water, getting closer to the surface. His heart leaped. It was bigger than he ever imagined. Finally, with one last big pull, he brought the fish to the side of the dock. It was a largemouth bass. Its mouth was big enough to swallow a baseball, and its green and silver scales shimmered in the sunlight. It was the most beautiful and terrifying fish he had ever seen. He had done it. He had caught the legend of Willow Creek Lake. With the help of a man from the crowd, Leo carefully lifted the huge bass out of the water and into a net. Everyone gasped. The fish was a monster. It was longer than Leo's arm. People started clapping and cheering. Sam and Jake rowed their boat over as fast as they could, their mouths wide open when they saw the fish. "Leo! That's unbelievable!" Jake said. Leo couldn't stop smiling. He was tired, but he was so proud. He carefully carried the fish in the net over to the judges' tent. He had to know how much it weighed. The contest judges looked surprised when they saw Leo and his fish. One of the judges, a man with a white beard, whistled. "Well now, son, what do we have here?" he asked. They placed the bass on a special digital scale. Everyone leaned in to see the numbers. The numbers on the scale kept going up, and finally they stopped. The judge read the weight out loud. 17 pounds, 8 ounces. The crowd erupted in cheers. It was the biggest fish of the day by far. Leo knew he had won the contest, but the judges weren't finished. One of them got a long measuring tape and measured the fish from its nose to the tip of its tail. The judge with the white beard wrote the numbers down on a clipboard. He looked at a big chart on the wall, then back at his clipboard. He did this 3 times. Then he picked up a microphone. "Folks, this is an incredible moment," he announced. "Not only has young Leo won our contest, but this 17-pound, 8-ounce bass is a new state record." The cheering was even louder now. A new state record. Leo couldn't believe it. They held a small ceremony. The judge handed Leo a big trophy, then handed him a giant check. On the check were the numbers $10,000. Leo held the trophy in one arm and the check in the other. His picture was taken again and again. He felt like a hero. He was proud of his hard work and his patience, and it all paid off. Later that evening, sitting on his bed, Leo looked at his trophy. He was already thinking about his next fishing trip. With $10,000, he could buy a new boat. He could travel to other famous lakes. The legend of Willow Creek Lake was just the beginning of his adventures.